Right now at 5, a new training resource in Columbus will soon help firefighters be better prepared for real-life scenarios.
And we've got some scattered showers and thunderstorms rolling through the area this morning. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door. Coming up.
Plus, millions are preparing to hit the road for the holiday weekend, including right here in the 4 states. What you need to know before you head out.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Thursday, May 22nd. And of course, we've got thunderstorms ongoing this morning. And of course, today also 14 years now since the Joplin tornado. It's just sometimes hard to fathom it's been that long. But we have thunderstorms this morning. The good news is nothing severe at this point. We had a few severe thunderstorm warnings early this morning. Those are gone, but we are starting to see a bit of an uptick in lightning with some of the storms around Joplin and Pittsburgh, which we'll show you in just a moment. But first, we'll start with probably a live look of that lightning from our camera downtown Pittsburgh, 4th and Broadway. It was pretty quiet for a little bit. We've had some occasional lightning, occasional thunder, but here in the last few minutes, we've seen just an uptick in the lightning on our cameras there in both Pittsburgh and Joplin and on the Skywatch Storm Tracker. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline, looking good so far. Still wet roadways. Now, it's not actually raining in Joplin, and in fact, the thunderstorm activity around the Pittsburgh area is a little further off to the south and west. So here's what we've got. We have these storms here. Now, it doesn't look like a lot of lightning strikes, and that's been the other thing, is a lot of the lightning we've seen just since I got here early this morning has been a lot of cloud-to-cloud lightning, and that will not show up on the Skywatch Storm Tracker. But as we get a little closer here, so McCune stretching just west of Pittsburgh in the bypass. We've got a thunderstorm over that way, and it reaches down toward Asbury and travels a little south of that this community of Nashville, just west of Alba. And then we get some heavier rain right on top of Carthage. A few lightning strikes there. So Joplin itself dry over toward the Red Oak area, La Russell, Stott City, north of those points. Miller, we've got storms. We head east of Mount Vernon. We got additional showers, storms, and heavy rain. We're going to zoom out real quick and take a look. We got some showers down into McDonald County around Pineville. So parts of I-49 and 71 down there. And we got some heavier showers, some thunderstorms around the Bull Hollow area south of Jay into Delaware County. So again, since I got here early this morning, we've had 3 severe thunderstorm warnings. We had one initially for Berry County, then we had one for Cherokee County, and the last one we got was, again, and you see at the beginning of this loop here, was for parts of Labette County. That wrapped up at about 2:15 this morning. No warning since, but take a look. It's just these thunderstorms just continuously recycling on the same path, almost like claw marks across here. So that's why we're continuing to see them. But as we discussed yesterday, our severe threat is winding down. In fact, it's winding down pretty quickly already this morning, which is some good news. Now into the afternoon we go. Future Track is hinting at the possibility, I want to emphasize that too, of some lingering showers or storms into the afternoon and early evening hours. Now, some of the computer data says that that's what will happen. The other half of the computer data says not at all. It's sticking with what we told you yesterday. But just as a heads up, be prepared for maybe a lingering shower or storm as, again, we roll into the afternoon or evening. Otherwise, most of this should wrap up by about mid-morning today, and then we'll start to clear out. So we got scattered storm chances, again, in our far southern counties. And as we head into Friday and Saturday, we have the 1 out of 5 risk out there with a 2 out of 5 just barely clipping Chautauqua County. So again, if you've got weekend holiday plans, just make sure you're planning appropriately for the possibility of not just strong to severe thunderstorms, but for flooding as well. We're at 59 in Joplin right now, 61 in Pittsburgh. Temperatures across the region are hovering in the mid to upper 50s with some low 60s, especially in our southern counties out there. So kids getting on the bus, looking at some scattered showers and storms, so do be aware of that. Upper 50s, east wind 5 to 10. Wind shift out of the north a little later. Still, again, going off some of that data, there's that chance we could still have a lingering shower or thunderstorm this afternoon. Low 70s, and that's where our highs are headed. So again, maybe a few scattered storms this afternoon. I do think we're looking more likely at these wrapping up this morning, but just in case, just be aware of that. Low 70s for the highs today. We're going to warm up a bit tomorrow. We'll talk about the thunderstorm chances from Friday into Saturday and what you need to know for Memorial Day here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, Jasper County Special Prosecuting Attorney will bring charges against a former firefighter in connection with the death of another firefighter. A charge of involuntary manslaughter was filed yesterday against Brant Cullen in an off-duty incident that took place in Carl Junction back on October 19th. An investigation by a Carl Junction detective outlined the charge this year, but the Jasper County Prosecutor's Office declined filing charges. The probable cause affidavit was refiled earlier this week, and according to court documents, Cullen recklessly caused the death of Tucker Berry by operating a golf cart at excessive speeds and swerving after consuming alcohol. Berry fell while standing on the back of the golf cart. Now, the special prosecuting attorney has requested an arrest warrant for Cullen, which is required by law. Now, it has not yet been filed, nor is Cullen in custody. You can find more information about this story as it develops on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. A judge sentences an Arma, Kansas man to life in prison for a 2023 murder in Pittsburgh. In March, a jury convicted Colin Gepford of first-degree murder, attempted first-degree murder, criminal discharge of a firearm, aggravated assault, and criminal possession of a firearm. The Crawford County Attorney's Office says Gepford will not be eligible for post-release supervision until he has served nearly 53 years for the first-degree attempted murder charge. Gepford is also ordered to register as a violent offender for life. The conviction stems from a fatal shooting on February 17, 2023. Now, at the time, officers arrived to find David Mays dead from a gunshot wound. Investigators say Gepford, along with Mays and Travis Cones, lured a man to the scene where Gepford opened fire. The victim ran away as Gepford continued shooting. Kansas Highway Patrol K-9 later recovered the firearms used. Gepford was arrested at the scene. Authorities say an Oswego, Kansas man charged in connection to a fatal fentanyl overdose is now behind bars. Authorities in Louisiana arrested Benjamin Queen and yesterday contacted the Parsons, Kansas police. Now, he was wanted in Parsons since March when prosecutors charged him as the alleged drug dealer in the fatal fentanyl overdose of 33-year-old Stormy Watson. Parsons police say he may be charged in Louisiana, but will be returned to face charges in Labette County. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, Memorial Day isn't here just yet, but the travel season is already in full swing. According to AAA, Missouri has seen some of the highest numbers of drivers on the road since the year 2000.
Today, for example, that could save you some time on the roads. Our AAA forecast looks at some of the best and worst times to travel to avoid some of the heaviest congestion. To put it simply, the earlier you can leave in your travel day, the better.
Now, according to the Missouri State Patrol, there were over 1,000 crashes and 10 fatalities during the 2024 Memorial Day weekend. Well, Columbus firefighters will soon have a facility that allows them to better train for real-life scenarios. The facility was made possible through community donations and will be located right behind the fire station. It will allow the department to hold various types of burn simulations. Now, the facility is set up to look like a small home or an apartment with windows, doors, and even furniture. The goal is to help firefighters train in conditions they would see in the field, something they've not been able to do in the past. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. A deadly shooting outside a Washington, D.C. museum sparks international security concerns. And we're tracking rain chances for today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Horner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Well, topping Nation Watch this morning, a suspect is in custody after killing 2 Israeli embassy employees outside of the Capitol Jewish Museum in Washington. Now, police and witnesses say the suspected gunman shouted "Free Palestine" as he was taken into custody. The shooting took place near Washington's FBI field office, and in reaction this morning, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he is increasing security at Israeli missions around the world. Naomi Ruckham has more from New York.
A horrific shooting in Washington, D.C. overnight. Two Israeli embassy employees, a couple identified as Yaron Lashinsky and Sarah Milgram by embassy officials, were shot and killed as they exited the Capital Jewish Museum just after 9 p.m.
He just ran up. It was terrible.
Police say they were targeted.
He approached a group of 4 people, produced a handgun, and opened fire.
D.C. Police Chief Pamela Smith says the suspect, tentatively identified as 30-year-old Elias Rodriguez from Chicago, entered the museum shortly after the shooting. Multiple people who were inside the museum at the time said event staff assumed the suspect was a witness of the shooting and that he was offered water. Then this happened.
He reaches into his bag and pulls out a keffiyeh and says, "I did it. I did this for Gaza," and just starts shouting "Free Palestine," and that's when the police came in and arrested him.
Police say the suspect told them where he had discarded the gun and that it was later recovered.
We will not tolerate this violence or hate in our city.
Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser and the FBI both say the threat to the community is over and that the suspect is believed to have acted alone. Police and the FBI are investigating whether the attack has potential ties to terrorism and motivations based on hate. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
Israel's ambassador told the U.S. that says he spoke with President Trump last night. The president posted on social media, "These horrible D.C. killings based obviously on anti-Semitism must end now. Hatred and radicalism have no place in the USA. Condolences to the families of the victims." Well, still to come, a new study reveals that there is an alarming amount of sugar in kids' breakfast cereals. Plus, Chris returns with another look at your Thursday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Priceless and pricey artifacts. Today we've got them both. And take a look at this. Patrick Cornell shows us some incredible recently recovered antiques.
A 100-year-old piece of history has been discovered lurking in the waters of Lake Michigan. An avid fisherman spotted the wreckage of the J.C. Ames sitting a mere 9 feet below the surface. The Wisconsin Historical Society says the vessel was constructed in 1881 to haul lumber. This photo from 1910 shows the boat in action crossing underneath a bridge in Green Bay, Wisconsin. The J.C. Ames was scuttled in 1923 off the coast of Manitowoc, where it remained for more than a century before being rediscovered. It turns out you can put a price on history. This double pedestal lamp, designed by legendary architect Frank Lloyd Wright, just sold at a Sotheby's auction for nearly $7.5 million, reportedly a record-breaking price for a piece of Wright's work. It's one of 2 double pedestal lamps Wright designed in 1903 for the Susan Lawrence Dana House in Springfield, Illinois. Its partner still resides with the Dana Thomas House Foundation. Part of the genius, using an electric light bulb in the lamp, which, at the time, was pretty new tech. This precious family heirloom popped up in the parking lot of a North Carolina Starbucks of all places. Lori Rue spotted the 1938 Virginia Tech class ring sitting on the pavement and assumed the nearly 90-year-old relic was a prized possession.
So it just didn't feel right to get rid of it or sell it or give it away.
Rue, apparently an internet super sleuth too, found a picture of Larry Garst wearing the ring in his obituary. She was able to track down Larry's daughter, who says the ring originally belonged to Larry's dad.
I really feel like it was serendipitous that my dad was reaching out. Like, he knew I'd been thinking about him, and he was popping in to say, "I'm here."
For Take a Look at This, I'm Patrick Cornell.
Some very special discoveries there. Let's head over now to Chris for a quick look at the forecast.
Yeah, we've got some scattered thunderstorms out there this morning. They are beginning to wind down, and so is the lightning associated with them. We do have additional thunderstorm chances rolling into the holiday weekend and the potential for heavy rain. We'll have a full look at your forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOM Morning News. It's coming up on 5:22 now on this Thursday morning. We're starting with Skywatch Storm Tracker. We got some scattered showers and thunderstorms out there. So we have this thunderstorm that's primarily into Jasper County, stretching from Sarcoxie back to the northwest through Carthage, just north of CJ, and then just south of Pittsburgh or near Weir. Not strong, not severe, and for a moment, the lightning with this particular thunderstorm really began to ramp up. A lot of it was cloud-to-cloud lightning, but that lightning is now beginning to come back down with that storm. We got some heavier rain back over into Lawrence County, so around Mount Vernon, some heavier showers around Freistatt and Aurora as well. And as we head down to the south and west, again, we had that shower here south of Jay. It's now into southeastern Delaware County near Little Kansas, Colcord, just outside of Siloam Springs into Arkansas. And we got a few stray showers around the Wada, Bartlesville, one here near Erie or southwest of Erie, and another little shower here around Fort Scott, Nevada, and one to the northwest of Lamar. So just a number of widely scattered showers, and again, a couple of thunderstorms out there. And on the loop, you can see where this has just been like a cat or a tiger or something took claws and swiped them across the area, and the storms have just been continuously regenerating along this same cycle. And you can see from earlier how far back to the north and west that went. We did again have a few severe thunderstorm warnings from late last night into very early this morning, but our severe threat rapidly winding down as we continue through the morning. So I mentioned earlier the future track picking up on the opportunity for some showers and storms rolling into the afternoon and early evening. I'm going to be perfectly honest, looking at some newer data that just hasn't made it in here yet. I do not believe we're really looking at anything beyond about, say, 10, 11 o'clock this morning. After that, we should start to clear out. But it still shows up. There's still going to be that slight chance we could get a stray shower storm through the afternoon and early evening. Otherwise, again, like I said, we should clear out here pretty soon, in the next 2 or 3 hours. We go into Friday, another cool start, and by Friday at noon, here comes our next round of showers and thunderstorms working into parts of southeastern Kansas, northeast Oklahoma. These showers and storms will continue to spread across the region through the afternoon and into the evening and overnight hours, and some of these could be strong to low-grade severe, with hail and wind being the primary concern. Then we get into Saturday morning. Now we're looking at thunderstorm coverage beginning to ramp up across the area. We're less scattered and more numerous showers and storms through the morning hours on our Saturday. We do get a little pause, and then we're expecting additional showers and thunderstorms out there again by late Saturday into early Sunday. And take a look at that line. Again, some of these could be strong to severe. So here's what we're looking at in terms of the strong severe storm chances. This is for tomorrow. Tornado threat very low. No areas highlighted, so that's great. And then our hail and wind risks are level 1 out of 5. So it's a low risk overall, but nonetheless, it is there for some small hail and gusty winds. And that risk will carry into Saturday as well. For just about all of us, it's a level 1 out of 5 risk, but you can see southwestern Chautauqua County, that level 2 out there. And of course, these will be refined over the next couple of days. And then this is the other thing we've got to watch out for as well. Heavy rain, especially in the south of the 54 corridor, where we could get anywhere from 5 to 6, 7 inches of rain out there. So flooding is the next concern. So if you're camping, going out to the river, the lake, the creek, whatever it is that you may be doing, you need to be aware, A, of the possibility of strong to severe thunderstorms this holiday weekend, and that possibility or likely flooding that could take place. So again, don't mess around with the high waters. If they say don't, stay out of the water, stay out of the water. And if the flood alert comes up your way and they tell you you need to go, you need to go. So you want to be safe this holiday weekend, especially when it comes to the thunderstorm chances and the heavy rain chances. So a few scattered storm showers through the morning hours, low 60s to start, upper 60s by 11 o'clock this morning. It's not warming up as fast. And again, just for good measure, throwing out that slight chance of a stray shower or thunderstorm afternoon into the early evening. Our highs low to mid 70s with a north breeze 5 to 10. And if we see those showers, they'll be done by 6. And then skies are mostly clear. We begin clearing out pretty quickly back into low 50s tonight. Calm winds out there. And then our thunderstorm chances again return through the holiday weekend. Warming up a bit this weekend, mid to upper 70s. We get a little cooler Tuesday and Wednesday. We also get at least a brief break from showers and storms before we see additional chances in the second half of next week. Let's check your forecast. We're going to send it over to Lisa now with Health Watch.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, kids' breakfast cereals are becoming even less healthy. A study published in JAMA found that fat, salt, and sugar content in breakfast cereals have all shot up since 2010. Meanwhile, the levels of protein and fiber have been reduced. The biggest concern, just one serving of the average cereal has 45% the daily recommended limit of sugar for a child. And taking vitamin D supplements can help slow the body's aging process. A study by Mass General Brigham found not only does vitamin D maintain chromosomes, it also reduces inflammation and lowers the chance of chronic diseases. The study suggests getting more vitamin D could prevent 3 years of biological aging. And a new study shows social media is making kids more depressed. The research by UC San Francisco showed as kids' social media use increased, their depressive symptoms rose by more than a third by age 12. Now, another troubling find, kids who are cyberbullied online were more likely to attempt suicide and experiment with drugs and alcohol. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, the Peace Church Cemetery in Joplin pays tribute to the nation's fallen ahead of Memorial Day weekend.
And we've still got a few scattered showers, a couple of thunderstorms out there. We'll talk about how long they'll last and how the rest of our Thursday is shaping up coming up.
Plus, a 15,000-mile journey to help veterans brings dozens of motorcyclists to Joplin.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:31. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's now Thursday. It's May the 22nd. We had some strong severe thunderstorms late last night.
Yes.
And we had a few this morning as well. Since I got here, we've had 3 severe thunderstorm warnings, but the last of those expired at 2:15. So we've been a little quieter.
Right.
But still a few thunderstorms out there this morning. Let's start with that look outside downtown Pittsburgh. And again, right before we went on, this one thunderstorm really started to ramp up in terms of lightning, but then as quickly as it ramped up, it began to die back down. You can see those storm clouds though as the sun's starting to rise, at least to get a little higher out there. That's our camera at 7th and Range Line in Joplin. So here's a look at Skywatch Storm Tracker. So what's right over Jasper County, stretching southeastward into Lawrence County, is the storm that, again, it did pick up with the lightning count for a little bit. A lot of it was cloud to cloud, but it has since calmed back down. In fact, those darker colored lightning bolts indicating older lightning strikes. But we still have some heavier rain from just to the east of CJ, paralleling 171, stretching into Carthage down towards Sarcoxy, rolling into Freistadt, Mount Vernon, just a few showers out there. Monette, you'll probably be in on some of this heavier rain, and Aurora, you're kind of in between as well. It does stretch into northeastern Berry County out there. Then we zoom back out. Again, shower exiting Delaware County, now into Siloam Springs down on the Arkansas side of things. A few light showers for Craig, Newada, and Washington counties in northeastern Oklahoma, and some showers trying to get going again here, as you can see, south of Fort Scott, south of 54 in Bourbon County. And this is, again, it's almost like a lion or a tiger or whatever, you know, just clawed across the 4 states, and these storms have just been continuously recycling along that same line. But as you can see, even though we're trying to get some new shower development here and there, it's really beginning to wind down, and that's the expectation as we head through the rest of the morning. So as we've discussed this morning, if you are just joining us, the future track is kind of painting a picture of some showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms lasting through about 6 this evening. I'm going to be honest with you, I think we're really going to be done by about 10, 11 o'clock this morning with rain chances, but just in good measure, we're tossing out that at least remote possibility of an isolated shower storm that could be in our area past noon, but otherwise we should clear out. In fact, you can see with our thunderstorm outlook, even just the scattered storm outlook, keeping it down to our south. Now, over the next couple of days, we have level 1 out of 5 risk for some strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms for tomorrow and into Saturday, which that level 2 just barely clipping Chautauqua County out there. So we're going to talk more about that in our rain chances this weekend in just a moment. We're at 60, both Joplin and Pittsburgh right now, and across the area up north, again, a little cooler. We've got some upper 50s. We got low 60s across the southern half of our area, so somewhat mild start for most of us. Kids getting on the bus, again, a few scattered storms out there this morning. Upper 50s, east breeze 5 to 10. Just a good measure mark here, the possibility of a stray shower storm this afternoon. Otherwise, partly to mostly cloudy skies, low 70s, north breeze 5 to 10. That's going to be the case. So we brought these rain chances down rolling into the afternoon and evening. Just saying it's a possibility. It's not looking very likely, but it could get a stray one. I will eventually make, again, the low to mid 70s for our highs. Now, our thunderstorm chances will actually ramp up as we head into the holiday weekend. We have concerns for strong to potentially severe storms. We also have concerns for flooding as we head into the holiday weekend. Details on all that for you here in just a few more minutes, Elise.
All right, see you soon, Chris. The Nation of Patriots bike ride rolled through Joplin yesterday as part of a 120-day 15,000-mile journey to raise money for veterans. The ride rolled through all 50 states. Roughly 50 motorcyclists met at Love's to join the ride, with Joplin police escorting the group through town.
Well, this one in particular is actually very special. So we dedicated this ride to a gentleman named Rick Chrisman. He recently passed away, and he was always my road captain. So it was great that we had so many show up in dedication of him.
Now, all donations raised will support veterans along the route. And volunteers honor more than 24 veterans laid to rest at the Peace Church Cemetery in Joplin. Now, they placed flags at the headstones of the fallen veterans and at the monument at the historic cemetery.
This being Memorial Day weekend coming up, we want to make sure that their flag is placed on their grave, and that anyone that comes out and visits, that they know that there's a veteran buried here, and they help make this country free for them.
Now, the volunteers from the Peace Church Cemetery Association and the American Legion Post 13 put in the effort. And now you can stay up to date with the latest news, weather, and sports with the KOAM Plus TV streaming app. It's available on Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV Plus, and Roku. The player is also available on our news and weather apps as well as our website. Watch live streaming anytime, absolutely free. The KOAM Plus TV streaming app. Well, you have an opportunity to pick up some native plants for your landscaping. The Missouri Department of Conservation will conduct a native plant sale this coming Saturday at Joplin Shoal Creek Conservation Education Center. The department says since the plants grow naturally in Missouri, they're adapted for the state's many conditions, making them low maintenance and beneficial for Missouri's pollinators and wildlife. And the city of Miami will soon have a new impressive sight to see. The National Endowment for the Arts, in partnership with Arts Midwest, is making plans for a new Where We Live mural. Now, it will be located next to Woody's Bar and Grill on South Main Street and will be designed by local artist Jessica Stout. Now, Stout says she hopes to capture personal stories about life in Ottawa County. And the city of Parsons, Kansas kicks off its annual Katy Days Festival. Now, this is video from the 2022 festival. The festival is named after the first train that rolled into Parsons back in 1870, which would be remembered as the Katy. Now, you can find everything from horseshoe and cornhole tournaments to sand volleyball and a tractor show. For more information, including dates and schedules of the events, you can head over to KOAMnewsnow.com/events. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Nike is set to start selling products on Amazon as the company starts to raise prices. Plus, Universal Orlando has officially opened its new Epic Universe theme park. We'll have the details. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. In Consumer Watch this morning, Nike is set to resume selling its products directly on Amazon after a 6-year absence. The sportswear giant had pulled back to focus on its own direct-to-consumer operations. It comes as Nike says it'll hike prices on some of its shoes and apparel starting next week, as first reported by CNBC. Well, the price of fast food is also rising, with the average cost of a typical meal hovering above $11 in the U.S. A new survey from LendingTree found that San Francisco is the most expensive city to grab a quick bite of fast food, with an average price of $14.88. The Golden Gate City is followed by Seattle with an average price tag of $13.48. while Columbus, Ohio is the most affordable at just over $10. And today, Universal Orlando's new Epic Universe theme park officially opens to the public. Now, the park features an expanded Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Super Nintendo World, How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk, Dark Universe, which celebrates Universal's iconic horror characters, and Celestial Park. Now, according to Universal Orlando's website, a one-day pass to Epic Adventure can top $130 per person, though daily pass rates drop when buying multi-day packages. And that's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Take a look at these clouds this morning from our camera at 7th and Range Line. Again, still got a couple of thunderstorms out there, but activity really winding down quickly. We'll have another full look at your forecast when we come back.
Well, a major retailer is reporting that its sales fell in the first quarter. Details in today's Ag Day Minute.
I'm Clinton Griffiths with today's Ag Day Minute. Target is the latest retailer to cut its annual sales forecast. It says sales in the first quarter fell nearly 3% compared to a year ago. Now, the company says it was impacted by negative reactions in its pullback on diversity, equity, and inclusion policies, which it says angered some loyal customers. It also blamed the drop on weaker discretionary spending and uncertainty about tariffs. Now, one of the largest roasters and distributors of coffee in the Midwest is hiking prices, it says, due to tariffs. Paramount Coffee Company did not specify the size of the increase. The National Coffee Association has requested an exemption from 10% tariffs imposed on most goods imported into the country since the U.S., which is the world's largest consumer of coffee, is unable to produce its own beans. So far, there has been no decision from the government. And a new study says a common ingredient in energy drinks can fuel the growth of leukemia. Taurine is a non-essential amino acid. It's found naturally in bone marrow, brain, heart, and muscles. Scientists of the University of Rochester say they found that when leukemia cells consume taurine, it promotes cancer growth. Now, taurine is a key ingredient in some energy drinks and protein powders. Experts say people don't need to avoid taurine, but should consume energy drinks in moderation. For more Ag News, watch Ag Day weekdays on the station or get updates over at agweb.com.
Now let's head over to Chris for a full look at your forecast.
We've had a few scattered showers and thunderstorms out there this morning. Skywatch Storm Tracker, again, some heavier rain. We got a heavier shower now just to the north of Monette, picking up a little more lightning. This is similar to what this storm did just not long ago around Pittsburgh and to the north of Joplin, where it briefly intensified in terms of lightning and then started to die back out. What we've got is just continuing shower and thunderstorm development right along these particular lines. You can see a new one to the west of Pittsburgh. However, if you also look, showers and storms now compared to what they were earlier and even late last night, we're really beginning to wind down. So we're going to continue to see that take place as we go through the morning. Now, I do believe by about noon, we should be done with most of our shower and thunderstorm chances. And as I've mentioned, the future track trying to kind of hint at maybe an isolated shower or storm rolling into the afternoon and early evening hours. But I do believe it's going a little overboard here. We should be pretty well done with rain by about noon. But we'll leave in an isolated shower chance for now. That's good, just as good measure out there. Tomorrow looks great to start, and then as we head toward the noon hour, we see increasing shower and thunderstorm chances. We'll have these scattered showers and storms stick with us through the afternoon and into the evening hours, as well as the overnight, because tomorrow kicks off an extended period of showers, thunderstorms, and heavy rain rolling into the holiday weekend. Now, Saturday, it looks as though we may get a brief pause in some of the rain, but it will be brief because what starts rolling in again late Saturday starts to intensify pretty quickly and brings a lot more heavy rain into the area. So in terms of possibilities of severe weather, tomorrow, our tornado risk very low, no areas highlighted, but the hail and wind risks are both a level 1 out of 5. And we have that level 1 out of 5 risk in general tomorrow. And then again for Saturday, that level 2 just barely clipping southwestern Chautauqua County. So the other thing that we have that's a concern is this, the rainfall, especially along and south of the Highway 54 corridor, where we get anywhere 5-7 inches of rain in some cases. So flooding is also a concern. So if you are heading out this weekend, just bear in mind, you need to have the KOM Skywatch weather app because we have that possibility of strong, potentially severe thunderstorms. And on top of that, we're going to have the opportunity for flooding. And in all honesty, at this point, flooding is the greatest concern, even over the severe threat. The severe threat's there, but flooding is a bigger concern. So as we've mentioned too, if a flood alert's issued for wherever it is you may be spending the holiday weekend, you need to follow whatever local instructions they give you and move to safe ground. All right, through the morning again, like we're seeing, very isolated to widely scattered showers and storms, and a few of them may try and keep going for a bit. Low 60s by 8, into the upper 60s by 11 o'clock this morning. Eventually into the low 70s for those high temperatures out there. Again, scattered shower storms. As I mentioned, I think it's going to really start to wrap up here by about 11 o'clock noon, okay? Skies clearing, mostly clear through the late evening and overnight hours, and we'll go back into the low 50s out there. And as we head into our Friday, again, 70s will be pretty consistent for a while. Those thunderstorm chances increasing into the holiday period, and then we will have a brief break and a brief cool down next Tuesday and Wednesday. Then we see additional shower and thunderstorm chances as we push toward the end of next week. Let's check your forecast. Send it over to Elise now with sports.
Chris, thanks. Well, Tuesday night, 5 of our local high school baseball and softball teams punched their ticket to state. Yesterday afternoon into yesterday evening, several more can follow suit. Now, Class 2 won a regional championship. Uniontown and Colgan. Winner is going to state. Top of the first inning, a couple runners on base. Now this bloop off the end of the bat is snagged by Reese Gorman at short, and she fires a 2-second in time for the double play. We go to the top of the 6th, still scoreless. Colgan has a runner on second, and this line drive is snared by Gorman. She turns the double play again. Gorman was outstanding in the field. Now still no score in the top of the 7th. Runner on third now. Katie Duncan grounds it to short, and Kylie Christerman hustling home, and she is safe just ahead of the throw. Colgan up 1-0. And the Panthers start to break free later in the inning. Lauren O'Brien laces one down the left line in left field. Reese Smith coming around third. Now she'll score easily. Colgan puts 4 on the scoreboard in the 7th. Bottom of the inning, Bella Acino finishes out a complete game shutout in the circle in the final. Out comes on a grounder to third. Colgan is headed to 2-1 A-State tournament. The Panthers win a defensive battle 4-0 over Uniontown. Over in Iola, another 3A regional championship taking place. The Lady Mustangs lose a heartbreaker to Burlington 8-4. They had a 4-2 lead in the final inning. Now, we've had one high school baseball regional tournament in our area yesterday as well. Now that includes Colgan, who hope to join its softball team in clinching a trip to state. And the Panthers do exactly that. After beating Mermiton Valley 11-1 in the semifinals, they run rule Northeast Arma 11-0 in the regional championship to earn a 5th consecutive trip to state and the 35th in 39 years under the direction of head coach Mike Watt. That's a look at sports. We'll be right back. Well, raise a glass and make a toast. Today is National Craft Distillery Day. Now, the distilled spirits industry is celebrating its small batch producers. They're defined as a distillery that produces fewer than 750,000 gallons of spirits a year. The American Craft Spirits Association says there are more than 3,000 U.S. craft distillers, but some states are craftier than others. California has the most craft distillers, followed by New York and Pennsylvania. Now, it's easy to celebrate the day, of course, with your favorite pour.
And we've still got a few scattered showers, a couple of thunderstorms out there beginning to wrap up, stretching back across parts of southwest Missouri, where we've got the heaviest rain from eastern Jasper County back into southern Lawrence County, northern Berry County. All of this still pushing off to the southeast. We are still getting spotty showers outside of that and along the path that all of these storms have been following all morning long. But our overall storm and shower chances are going to begin winding down over the next few hours. Now, as I mentioned before, Future Track still kind of trying to hint at maybe some additional development of isolated to widely scattered showers and storms rolling into the afternoon and into the early evening hours. I do think it's going a little overboard by 5. We're looking at maybe just a few showers, maybe a rumble of thunder, but the majority of us will be dry once we get past noon, heading into our afternoon. And again, tomorrow we'll have that chance for some strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms with small hail, gusty winds as a primary concern out there. And we'll also have that risk continue into our Saturday. So our holiday weekend is going to be marred by the chances for showers, thunderstorms, and for heavy rain and the possibility of flooding. So if you're in an area and they start issuing flood alerts, you need to make sure you get out of that area. And of course, get the KOM Skywatch weather apps. You can stay on top of severe weather as well, should we get any strong or severe thunderstorms this holiday weekend. Starting our day, again, a few isolated, widely scattered shower storms this morning. Low 60s by 8 into the upper 60s by 11. Heading for highs today, eventually low to mid 70s. And again, maybe an isolated shower storm between noon and 6. Otherwise, most of us will start drying out. We'll have north winds around 5 to 10. Skies mostly clear through the evening and overnight hours. Calm winds and again, another cool evening back into the low 50s for us. Tomorrow, low to mid 70s once again, mid 70s for Saturday, upper 70s near 80 for Sunday. So our temperature's not bad, but unfortunately those thunderstorm chances, those shower and storm chances through the upcoming weekend, just going to kind of put a damper on your plans. So again, if you're heading out, even if you're staying, especially if you're staying local, just make sure you're staying weather aware as well. Get a little break Tuesday, Wednesday next week, more rain in the second half of next week. And that is a check of your forecast. We'll be back with more right after this.